Hello, everyone. Okay, it took me a couple of minutes to figure it out. I thought I had it all set up, but clearly I didn't. So let me just get set up. I swear, I was like, I'm gonna have this down so I am not fumbling. But if I am honest, I fell asleep in my hammock outside and I woke up and it was like 25 minutes till, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not even on Isaac's live chat. So that's where I'm at. But let me bring it up on my phone because I can't see your guys' comments right now. Or let me bring it up on my computer and then I'll be able to see. Cool. Okay. So I see Charles is here, Paul Honeyman, Hutchie, Paul Honeyman, Sherry, my sister Jessie, thank you. Yes, thank you guys so much. So let me just update where I'm at on my video. Okay, cool. Hello, everyone. Also, I am in middle of Charles the Navy. I have a little bit of like traits from the Navy still, but I tried to really let them all go. I think one that I still have is I'm always on time besides today, or at least when I'm not on time I get super like anxiety and uncomfortable like now. And then two, I feel super weird walking and eating at the same time, and I still feel super weird walking through grass. Like when there's a sidewalk and you walk through grass, that was something you were not supposed to do in the Navy. So thank you guys for the birthdays. Thank you, Hutchie. Thank you, Mary. So my official birthday is actually tomorrow. Paul Honeyman, typical Navy, always late. I used to be, no, like, I am usually really good about being on time. So I guarantee you the next live, I will be on time. I was only a couple minutes late anyway. Yeah, but I was not as prepared as I thought. But if you guys want to know why I look prepared and why I have jewelry on, is because I got out all my jewelry stuff earlier and made myself some jewelry. That was kind of my gift to myself. Oh, Jim. Former Navy from Texas. Awesome. Thank you for your service. So also, you guys, I'm in California now, and it is hot out. It's almost 90 degrees out still, so I am sweating. I turned off all my fans so it would be quiet, but it's pretty warm in here. I did do a form for like a question and answer, so I will do some of those. Paul Honeyman's always like, man, Charles is just giving everyone a bad time here. Also, I have not done a YouTube video of my updated tour of my bus, so I will be doing that soon. I'm actually going to be doing a small little update this week that I'm going to record and like share with you guys, and then after that I will do like a legit YouTube video tour. Thank you guys for being patient on my last video. It took quite a while. And I only have excuses for that, but mostly they were sentimental excuses. But I do have a new video coming out Sunday or Monday. It's like done, but it'll come out Sunday or Monday. Cool. Hey Rebecca, thanks for coming here. I know, I wish you could be here to celebrate too. It's kind of funny because over the last few weeks or months, I guess, I had a lot of birthdays with people that I was with. There was like 4 birthdays, 4 or 5. Actually, probably 6, including pets. But I'm by myself for my birthday, which is okay though. And I have kind of set myself up to like have a super chill birthday. And tomorrow is my legit birthday, and I'm just I was originally gonna go to these hot springs and I was gonna go on this like crazy hike, but no, I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna be lazy. I'm gonna chill. I'm literally parked up right on like a reservoir, so I'm just gonna hang out in the sun. It's gonna be really hot and sunny, so I'm gonna relax tomorrow and just do like whatever I want. Yeah, Paul Honeyman, it's already Friday for you. That's crazy because you're in what country? Remind us what country you're in. It's actually only 6 o'clock here for me. For most people, I think it's like 9 o'clock, which is pretty late for you guys. So thank you for tuning in. The next time I go live, I will do it a little bit earlier, and I'm thinking it'll be on like a Tuesday. I would love to have that like be a thing that I start doing. Oh, Summit Dave, happy late birthday. There's a lot of tourist birthdays coming up or that have happened recently that I'm finding out. Sherry, my dad was in the Navy back in the day. Wow. That is crazy. I didn't learn any crazy tasks like that, I don't think. Um, I was in the Navy for 4 years, but I was never actually on a ship. My job was anti-terrorism and like security forces, so kind of like a cop. But most of the time, my job was I drove around like a smaller but very powerful harbor patrol boat in Cuba, and that was like some of my best memories ever. Um, Thank you, Rebecca. That's actually what I'm really excited for. It's just like the solitude, and it's super quiet here. I wish I could show you guys. I might be able to show you a little bit. The water is right here, and it is so calm. Like, there's very little breeze. The water's really calm. So tomorrow I'm going to also take my kayak out. I might do that tonight. I just don't feel like blowing it up, but I'm going to take my kayak out for sure tomorrow and go around the whole reservoir, and it leads to another one. So I'm really excited to explore this area. I knew nothing about it. I ended up here randomly because I was somewhere a little bit more south, and then I saw that for the next 4 days is a crazy heat spike, and then it goes back down to like 60 degrees. So I got kind of scared and I was like, I gotta get to the water. And like today, it was the hottest part of the day, and Bodhi was just laying in the sun. Like, the dogs have been perfectly fine and I've been fine. So that little like slight freak out was not necessary, but I do have a plan for air conditioning. Someone sent me a window air conditioner that's only 5,000 BTUs. And it's cheap, and it's from Home Depot. And I might get it for the summer because it'll give me the option. I'll definitely, my solar will not run it. I'll have to be plugged into like someone's house or a campground, but I might get it just for a backup in case I'm in like a heat spike or something. But so far, I don't know, the dogs are okay as long as we have shade and whatnot. Also, you guys, I do have wine. This is my last glass of wine that I have. So cheers to everyone. Yes, I will give you guys a background check. All right, so let's actually get into some of the Q&As. And if you guys have questions, leave them below. But I did do like a Q&A earlier in the week, and so I wanted to make sure I hit on those. First off, I had someone ask me the first question. Oh, Alyssa, happy late birthday. I watched your birthday video and it was just like so special. And you listening to music with, I think it was champagne, like in your bed, like that was totally me today, but like outside with my wine. I was totally just jamming out, having a good time. So happy late birthday to you. And thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I appreciate everyone for being here. I am actually, so no one asked me this, but I feel like I'll share. I am turning 32. All day yesterday, I thought I was turning 31 because it's been very confusing. Recently, I've been telling people I was 32 because my birthday was so close. But no, like I am turning 32, but for a minute there, I thought I was turning 31. I don't know. I got myself so confused. Yeah, so we'll definitely have to have a dance party when we reconnect. Hopefully it's before, I don't know if you're going to descend on Ben. Hopefully it's before that though. That would be cool. I don't have any plans though to travel through your state. I definitely did. And then now I'm all the way in California, which I'll get to later. So my travel plans have completely shifted. I was going to explore like Colorado and Utah, and that is not happening this summer. but I'll get into that. Oh, it's so funny how travel plans just change like so quickly. But I love that about bus life. So, okay. Everyone, oh, thank you guys for all the happy birthdays. It's very nice. I appreciate it. Okay, so let me get into some of the questions. One of the questions was, how am I? And I thought that was such a sweet question. And of course, it came from like the sweetest person. And I am really good. I am good. I have nothing to complain about. I realized recently the few things that were like stressing me out or felt like I had to complain about were so minor. And I think that's a good position to be in life when your complaints don't seem like a big deal to other people, even though they're a big deal to you. So yeah, I'm doing really good actually. And I think a lot of it has to do with the weather that I've been in. I've been in beautiful weather. I feel like I escaped winter pretty quickly, and I started experiencing summer pretty early, and I've actually felt a little bit of guilt around sharing like the beautiful places I've been in, the beautiful weather, because I know a lot of people have had rough winters, and growing up in Michigan, I know how that is, and I've been in Michigan for the past like 4 years, so I definitely know how that is. Man, Paul Honeyman, you make me feel so good saying I'm aging well, turning 32. Alyssa does not look her age either. I agree. I also, oh, she roams wild. Hey, dude, thanks for coming in. I appreciate you making your appearance here. I know you're on the road as well, and I'm excited to see your travels. So, thank you for coming here, Alexandria. I also feel like I remember being younger and thinking, oh, your 30s sounds so old, and it's not. I think 30s are some of your best years. And I also just had a good friend turn 40, and I was like, man, if this is what 40 is, I'm excited to turn 40 as well. um Okay, well, I see how YouTubers like get so behind on comments and like notifications coming through in my phone, so I am trying to keep up with them. I'm looking at my computer. Yeah, Alexandra, I hope we can get together again soon. I cannot wait to see your new rig. I'm like so excited. I am like living through you and my other friend Rebecca and Stuart are building out. Well, theirs is like finished, but building out new rigs, and it's exciting. Um, I've been saying I'm so overbuilding, but I'm actually doing a very simple like upgrade. It's very aesthetic to my bus this week that I'll be filming. And I'll share with you guys. It's just making me exciting to like change the space a tad. So anyway, okay. So what made my decision to renovate the bus? Holy crap, that's a long story, and I'll try to keep it short because I only want to be on this live. First, I said only for 30 minutes, but it's probably going to be an hour. No longer than that, though. Also, Drew, I see you texting me. And you have no idea. It's so funny. But I see you. So, okay. So why did I renovate the bus? Well, long story short, there's a few different stories too, and I'll try to find one that's like the most narrow to the point. So, okay, I was in college still, and I had just gotten out of the Navy, recently moved back to like my hometown, and every break I had from school, I did all this research. I had all these plans on like where to go on vacation. Jesse, that's funny. Jerry's cracking himself up. What is new? Yeah, so Paul Sherman, my super chats are turned off because I am not monetized yet. So I still have 1,000 watch hours that I need, and then it'll be monetized. I have the follower count, but I do not have the hours watch. I still have 1,000, so I'm getting there. I've been on YouTube for a little over a year now, so they actually started going down a little bit, and they're catching back up. So now I have like 1,000 watch hours, and then I'll be monetized, and I can do super chats and stuff. But I really appreciate it. I thank you so much for that. I do have my Venmo and my PayPal in my description. It's just Earth to Chrissy, but like I appreciate you trying to do the super chat and everything. Okay, so I decided to do the bus. So I always had all these travel plans, and I was like, I'd make all these plans to go to the places I wanted to see. And then that, like, it'd be spring break, and I have it down to like where I was gonna stay, what I was gonna do, and then I could never afford it because it was like I had to have um pay for like a hotel or somewhere to stay, and then I had to pay for the rental car and like this and that, and like it just always got way too expensive for the short amount of like vacation that I had. And so when I started seeing people, it was Rebecca and Stuart who were my really good friends. I saw that they bought an RV and they were like renovating it, and that instantly sparked my interest because for one I was like I'd love to like have a space, like a house of my own almost, that was mine, that I got to renovate, because um I was renting places. I went to college in Detroit, Michigan, and I was renting places in Detroit, and I like rented 4 or 5 different places within a year. I was moving around a lot, and then what happened is COVID happened. Surprise, surprise. And I saw that they were renovating their RV, and I was like, I want a space of my own that like can be mine or whatever. And was like moving back in with like my parents, like in the house I grew up in, which I was very appreciative of. But when I like saw them renovating their tiny home for themselves, I was like like intrigued. And then realized, I talked to them, and I realized they were living in the RV like full time. That's what they were doing. They were also in the Navy too, so we were kind of on the same paths as far as like getting on the Navy, going to school. And I think also going to college when you're a little bit older is a very confusing thing too, because you're not 18, 19 just moving out of your parents' house. Like, you're a grown adult, and you're like experiencing this whole college thing at a later age, which is also can be a very great thing, but it puts you in a weird position as far as like having your own space, and like it's just, that's a whole thing. Um so then I was like, whoa, you guys are living in it full time. And I'm like, if I got an RV now and like renovated it and like traveled when I could, for one, it would save me money on my travels. I'd be able to do all these travels that I wanted to do. But also when I graduate, like I can have this like tiny home of my own to live in. And so I went down a rabbit hole that night. I was up till like 4 a.m, like in my old bedroom at my parents, like looking up RVs. But I wanted a pull behind, like really small travel trailer. And they were crazy expensive because I was looking for like brand new ones. So anyway, that led to me, I very quickly bought an old vintage, it was like a 1989 Class C RV. That was a mistake, but it was a good learning experience. So I bought that. I renovated the inside. I just pretty much I did use a little bit of power tools and like did some water damage control and built some walls, but I mostly just like did painting and aesthetic things, and it was really cute, but it had so many mechanical errors or like so many issues, and I never got to use it this summer. I spent all summer on it and never got to use it. So by the time fall came, I had to go back to college, and I was like, I could have this for next summer, or I'll just throw it up on Facebook Marketplace for double of what I bought it from, and if it sells, it sells, whatever. It sold in like 3 days. Thank God I got rid of that, because that was it was kind of a nightmare. It was a saving grace that I got rid of it, but it's what led me to the bus. So then that led me, after that, I was looking into like some newer rigs, and I was mostly looking at vans, and I didn't know if I could do a van with the dogs and everything. Debbie, thank you for a happy birthday. I appreciate it. I didn't know if I could fit into that small of a space with dogs, and the vans were like getting crazy expensive. I was working on a very tight budget, and so could not afford a van. And then I also, my thing too is like I was not in the mindset of converting something on my own. I wanted someone else to convert it because I had no idea what I was doing. And so that led to me finding a short bus that was somewhat close to me that was built out, and I was like, it was kind of in my budget, a little bit out of it, but I was like, I've never even been in a short bus. I want to see like what the space is like and whatever. So I went and looked at it, and I like fell in love. It was everything I wanted. It had an outdoor shower, it had a rooftop deck. It was wonderful, but it was a 4 window, and a guy built it, and it was definitely like not my aesthetic on the inside. So I fell in love with it and I was like, I'll find a way to buy this thing. But then I was like thinking about it, and I would have to redo a lot of the inside because it was which is a really good idea, but the countertops were like, what is the word? I'm just having a brain fart, but what you put like your tools in and whatnot, that's like outside your garage. Anyway, they weren't even real cabinets. And then it was a gas engine and it had a lot of miles, and that's what originally, like, that was the main thing that I was like, this is not for me, because it had a lot of miles, and it had like almost 3,000, and it was a gas. So I'm glad I didn't do that, but that led to me getting this bus because his dad sold buses like for a living, and they worked in the church, and so they sold it to other churches or like daycares or whatever. They're really, really awesome people. So I bought this bus from his dad, and thank God his dad was also such a great guy, because I originally was going to get a gas bus that was, because I also wanted a 5 window, not a 4 window, because I thought I was going to put a shower in here. Did not do that. But his dad was like, let me show you another bus, because I originally drove up there to buy this other certain bus, and he was like, let me show you this one. It's a diesel. I think it would work better for like what you want to do with it. And it had the wheelchair door, and so there's no wheel bumps on the ground, so it's completely flat surface. And I had never owned a diesel, and I thought it was gonna be like super loud, and so he started it up, and I'm like, okay, it's not nearly as loud as I thought, whatever. Well, I like gave him a down payment right then and there, and and I feel like I rushed into it, but it was a good decision. I'm pretty sure my family thought I was crazy. They did not understand the whole thing. Yeah, they were just like, what is she doing? And then I slowly started showing my parents, because this was COVID. Like, I was living back at my parents' house. So I did this all in their driveway. Like, thank God they are great, supportive parents, because I just jumped into it. And then I started showing them like photos and videos of like converted buses. And I remember mom being like, there's no way that's a bus. Like, what? So then they started to kind of see the vision. And now that the bus is done, and like they were there to see me do the whole process, like super supportive. They get it now. But that's a long story, not so short, of why I got the bus. And also, as soon as I got out of the military, I already knew I wanted to like work remote and be able to like travel and whatnot. So all of my choices were leading up to remote work. I didn't know that I wanted to travel in a rig. But the relationship I was also in at the time, he was going to be traveling around a lot. And so I knew to like stay in the relationship, it would work best for me to have like remote work or whatever. That obviously didn't work out. But that kind of got my mind already like interested in like remote nomadic living somewhat. So there's that. That was I can never make that story super short, but that's kind of where it was. Did you guys hear that person outside? They're swimming, which I do want to do in this. It's a reservoir, it's not a lake, but where I'm at, it's pretty shallow for a while. And at first I'm like, is this even a clean reservoir? But I looked into it, it's very clean. It's just very shallow where I'm at. So I want to go a little bit deeper because there's like bugs. I don't know. And there's a lot of fish that jump in. They're freaking massive. I don't know. I don't know why that's a weird fear of mine. Okay, so another question was my favorite spot to hang out in the bus. And it's probably my hammock. This is probably my favorite spot to hang out in the bus. I also tend to sit, but however, I do use this a lot, but I also tend to sit on my couch quite a bit, like right here in my little nook, because that's where I work, and that's where like where my table is. So I do sit there often, and it's super comfy, and I get productive there. But this is probably my favorite spot. And when other people are in the bus with me, this is where I sit, and like they sit on the couch, or someone else, if they're lucky, they get to sit here. Also, the sun is starting to set, and my window clings that are like the crazy reflective mirrors are starting to happen. So that's why my face looks kind of weird. And then that leads into how often I hang out on my rooftop deck. And that kind of comes in spurts. I do hang out up there a lot. Like that is one of my favorite parts of my bus. I'm so glad that That's so Charles. Nope, just window clings. But they're like, so I actually hang out on the deck more often at night. Like, when I was in the middle of nowhere at Lake Mead, I laid out on the rooftop deck because the stars were super beautiful. So I do actually spend more time up there, like at sunset and when it's dark out. I expected I would do it like during the day a lot more. But a reason why I don't hang out on the deck is if I'm around people that I don't know. Like if I'm camping with people I know, like well I'll go up there and hang out. But if I'm around people that I don't know, um, and I'm kind of camp close to them, which it doesn't happen often, but I don't like to go up on the deck because then it's like I'm looking down on them and I can see everything. Everything. I'm so glad my dogs are sleeping right out here and I put them on a chain because there's a dog running around. It actually looks like River Rebecca in the water, and Bodie would be gone. And then I would be screwed because I'd be on live with you guys. um, yeah, Paul Honeyman, there's probably no sound because I had a phone call coming in. But yeah, love my rooftop deck. I think that is the best thing I decided to do. I'm so glad I decided to do it. But there are some instances where I don't feel comfortable going up there, and it's usually when I'm around like camping near people I don't know, because when I'm up there then it's like I can see and then everyone can see me. It's just it's like a privacy thing. That weirds me out, but yeah, I love my rooftop deck. If I were to live in a different style rig than I have now, oh man, this is a loaded question. Um, I would definitely, I think it would be a truck camper, which is funny because the person who asked this has a truck camper. But I think it would be a truck camper. I don't know if I really shared this very much with you guys, but I almost put the bus up for sale this past winter. As soon as I like finished the bus, I almost put it up for sale. And I wanted to do it before it was like lived in, so it was like still brand new. And I don't regret not doing that. Financially, it was very smart for me to keep the bus. But I think if I had a different rig, my main thing is I want it to be 4x4. And so vans that are 4x4, crazy expensive. So are trucks, I guess. But yeah, I wanted a truck camper because in my mind, I could have 4x4 capabilities because my truck, and I could also take off the camper and then have like a normal vehicle. So it was like I had my home and a normal vehicle in one. I could separate them. It seemed like the best of both worlds. Financially, it just wasn't smart at the time. I don't regret not. I love the bus, and when I'm in the bus, I love the space. I love my bus, but when I'm driving around in like places I would like to go to, I wish I had 4x4 and like a smaller kind of zippier rig. But I am moving a lot slower this year than I was last year and the year prior traveling. So being in the bus has been really nice. But yeah, I think it would be a truck camper because of those reasons. And then also building out a whole new rig sounds really exhausting and not something I'm very interested in the near future. Um, and having a good like camper. So there's only like two that I would ever think about buying, and it's I think something Northern Light and the Bigfoots because of the way that they're built. So those are the only two. And I did some deep research. Like I was looking to buy a Bigfoot and sell the bus, but I'm happy with what I have now. But yeah, it would definitely probably be a truck camper. I also was looking at a truck camper that was like homemade, built by someone else, and that was one that I really really loved. It was in Montana. Um, but just buying a truck, and that one needed a flatbed truck, and buying a truck was just too expensive. I have no debt to this bus. This bus is completely paid off, so financially it was smart to keep the bus, and I do love my bus. Someone just commented, my bus is like 22 feet long. It's a 5 window. I love the size. I would not want to do a 4 window. I love the 5 window. Having a 6 window would be pretty cool, but with that, most of them are a different front end. Mine is a van front end, and I didn't want to deal with the dog nose and that type of engine because that is a lot harder to work on. Not that I know how to work on an engine, but to find someone, that's a whole different thing. So let's see. Someone asked me, when working remote, how do I figure out what vibe of like the client that I want? So I don't know if you guys know, but I'm a graphic designer. So I work with clients, mostly doing like logos or like branding work, or I also have been creating like illustrations and like stickers for other nomads. When like figuring out kind of the vibe or the look that I want, I ask a lot of questions. I also have like a form that they fill out that explains a lot, but that is kind of a knack that you have to have, is being able to try to get into that person's brain. And like, I guess it just comes down to like fully understanding the vision that they have, because there's some people who don't give you a lot of information, and that's pretty hard because then you're like trying to guess for what they want, and you do a lot of different iterations, and it takes a lot longer, and it's a lot more work. And so um it works best for me to ask a lot of questions, fully understand like what their vision is and what they're looking for, and then I usually do mood boards. So I'll show them like a group of pictures and be like, is this the vibe or is this the vibe? Like, so it's mostly asking questions and then visually showing them, because if someone says like, oh, I want it to be super retro could mean different to me, and retro can mean different to that person. So when you can like show pictures and have visual options, that helps out a lot. And I guess that's kind of what a graphic designer is anyway, is like a visual communicator. So just asking a lot of questions. Okay, how do I know where I want to go next? I am super indecisive, so that can be challenging. But and this also starts this will lead into a question of my itinerary for the near future and kind of what my travel plans are. So, to figure out where I want to go next, I use an app called iOverlander. It is the best app in the entire world. It's pretty much the only app I use besides maps. And so when I know a certain area that I'm heading towards, like if I need to be in X city 2 weeks from now, I get on iOverlander. First, I look at my maps, and I see like the quickest route there. So then I get on iOverlander and I look at like the route I'll be going, and I look for spots along the way. iOverlander shows you free spots to stay, campgrounds. It also shows you where you can fill up on water or like propane, like anything you really need. And there's different filters you can do. You can like choose to see only campgrounds, only free sites, whatever. But they're on there from other people who have stayed there and like reviewed that area. So like this spot here, many people from like 2019 were leaving reviews for this spot. And so they leave reviews and they like comment and say whatever about it, but they also like show pictures and stuff. So I already have a good idea of the spot, like what it looks like, what is going on before I get to the spot. But it mostly is, I have already a place in mind that I'm heading to, and so I try to find spots along the way. I don't like going out of my way very much. I try to save on gas because gas is very expensive right now, and also I'm in California, so it is super a lot more expensive here than other places, which really sucks. But the part of California that I'm in is not the California, because I used to live in San Diego for like 3 or 4 years, and I lived like right on the ocean. So the part of California I'm in is a part that I am not familiar with, and it is so beautiful. Like this is a whole different type of California to me, so it's really cool to experience. But yeah, I use the app, and I already have like destinations in the near future, like an itinerary, I guess, of where I'm going. Yeah, people use Google Earth. I don't use that so much. Ooh, your dad lives in La Jolla. That's super cool. That's an awesome area. I lived like 30 minutes south of there. La Jolla is amazing though. My sister who is watching, I took her and my mom there when they came to visit. It's really cool to see like all the sea life there. Okay. Ooh, Vista in the North Cal. Cool, Ozo. I am kind of near North Cal, sort of. Um, North Cal, to me, the only areas I visited in North Cal were like Big Sur and Carmel by the Sea. And it was really, really beautiful. I really want to visit there in the bus. That's funny. Yeah. It's been coming up on my memories too, Jesse, like the photos and stuff. Um, that was fun. And so there's this photo that always pops up. I don't know why it pops up so often, but it's Izzy like sleeping on top of, I think it was like my mom or my sister's suitcase. Um, and it's just such a sweet photo. That's funny. Also, when my mom and my sister came to visit me in San Diego, I took them to Coronado Beach, which is like one of my favorite beaches, and there's like a dog beach there. And they like said something about like, oh, do you like something about dolphins? I'm like, I've never seen a dolphin here. Like, there's not really dolphins that you see in San Diego. And then we saw a dolphin. So that was super cool. Living in the bus, so I miss my mom. Oh, you're funny. Yes, I miss my mom. I actually talk to my mom very often. Mom, I think I talk to you more when I'm gone than like when I'm back home. Like I think we talk on the phone more when I'm gone. Yeah, so in San Diego, um, my sister said we had to break into my apartment through my porch, but what I really did was just I always left my slider unlocked in San Diego because it was like a safe area. And so to get into my apartment, it was on the ground level. I would just crawl like over my porch and then go through my glass slider to get into my house. I didn't even leave a key out there. I just left it unlocked, which is probably not very smart. But yeah, and I always felt so awkward climbing over my porch. So I'm like, if someone else sees me doing it, they're probably thinking I'm breaking in to my own apartment. Yeah, gosh, that's funny. I forgot about that. That was a fun apartment complex that I lived in. It was like in Pacific Beach, which is like the party town, but I didn't really ever like party there. But I could like walk to the bay. Like it was, that's where like I trained for like my first half marathon there because I had to run along the bay. Like, it was just beautiful. The paddleboard that I have, I bought it when I lived there because I could walk it to the beach. It was very cool. Okay, so that kind of leads me into my itinerary for the near future. So I originally thought after Arizona, I was gonna go like up through Utah and then like Idaho is my main, like that's where I want to be for most of the summer. But I was like, I'll experience Utah and like Wyoming a little bit, and like then I'll be in Idaho. Well, I'm in California. I took a left turn. So I'm meeting with a friend next week and going to a Volkswagen event, which is gonna be really fun. So that's my next plan. That's kind of where I'm at. And then so the first week of June, I can't. Yeah, it's gonna be June. Holy smokes! First week of June, I'm gonna make a pit stop in Idaho, and then after that, like the second or third week in June, I am going to Wind River Rally in Wyoming. That was the first event I had ever gone to last year. It was my most favorite event I've ever been to. I made the best of friends there, and I'm really excited to see them. Ooh, okay, Hutchie. Yeah, thank you for coming in. That's an early morning. It's only 6:45 where I'm at, so I feel you. It's late. Thank you for tuning in though, and hopefully on my next live it'll be a little bit earlier. And it'll probably be on a Tuesday. So, but yeah, so I'll be the second or third week of June. I'll be in Wyoming at Wind River. I'm so excited for it. I'm so excited to see my friends. That was my favorite event ever. It'll definitely be different this year, I think, because last year was the first time it was there. So it was a little bit smaller and like more intimate. But it was like, that was kind of life changing for me on the road because that was when I first really started like meeting and hanging out with people and realizing to be sustainable on the road, like you have to have friends. Like you can't be by yourself all the time, at least for me, which was surprising because I enjoy being by myself. But having that community was just a game changer. So I'll be at Wind River and then I'll probably hang out in Wyoming for a little bit. and then I'll be in Idaho for most of the summer. I love Idaho. So, um, yeah. And then so summer I'm kind of free. I don't really have a whole lot of plans. But then going into fall, I'll be going to Descend on Bend again. Descend on Bend again. That's like Labor Day weekend, and then like the weekend after, I'm going with a group of girls, and I only have met one girl who we're pretty good friends. I only met one in person like already, so the other girls I don't know. Just through social media now, but we're going to a Lumineers concert. And like, I'm not one that like, I don't love the Lumineers. I mean, I really do like them. But it was kind of one of those things where like tickets were like selling out, and I got invited to go, and I was like, it'd be really cool to go with like a bunch of other girl nomads. And then two, I'll already be in Bend, and Bend also is an awesome area, so I'm sure the venue is gonna be super cool. But recently I started listening to the Lumineers again and realized like it's gonna be an awesome concert. I'm really excited. So yeah, that is my itinerary for the near future. Mostly I'll be in California. Oh, I totally missed. Ooh, yes, Alyssa, awesome. She said she likes the smaller events too. Me too. I actually don't love Descend on Bend. I think this next year when I go, I'll have more fun. But I loved smaller events that I went to. You just got to like meet people more, and like I don't know, there's something more intimate about them. But yeah, so the PNW, I'll probably, hopefully our paths do cross this summer. My sister asked if I had no EDM concerts planned. Okay, there's a couple I've had my eye on that I would love to go to, but I have to have people to go to them with. But okay, with that though, I have found there's so many like DJs and electronic shows that happen at these events that I don't even feel like I need to go to a legit concert. Like, actually, I think every single event I've gone to, there's been at least one night where it is like an EDM show, which is like electronic music with like the DJ and the lasers, and like I love them. And me and my sister go to them together. But the one at Wind River caught me off guard, and it was a freaking good time. And there's also gonna be a new DJ there this time, so that's, I guess, the next EDM show I'll go to is Wind River in June. So excited for that. Oh, Natasha, thank you. Oh, awesome. That's cool. You're in your bus right now. I can't wait to meet up too. Keep me updated on where you're at, and hopefully our paths will cross. What was I saying? Oh, I totally forgot. After next week, when I'm here in California, Yosemite is on my way to where I'm going, and I'm gonna meet up with two of my friends that I hung out with in Havasu for the last couple months. And we're gonna go explore Yosemite together. At least that's the plan. We don't have like set definite plans, but I am gonna be seeing my friends that I spent time with in Lake Havasu. That was so awesome. If you guys haven't watched my most recent video, it is on my time in Lake Havasu. And I was saying earlier that video took me a long time to put out. I really want to upload videos every single week, but that one took a long time because I had so much footage, and there was a lot of sentimental value to it, and I wanted to do it justice, and then I realized that was blocking me from doing it, so I really slapped it together within a day or two and just kind of threw it out there because I knew it was more important just to document the experience than overthink it too much. So my time in Lake Havasu was very, very, very awesome, very special. Yes. Oh, my last question that I got was highs and lows of bus life. And the person who asked it helped me experience my lows of bus life in the best way possible. Like, they were my like rock, I guess, to help me deal with one of the lows. So I can't think of, when I first saw that question, I couldn't think of anything extreme for my low and extreme for my high, but definitely the first thought that came to for my low was last summer, which it's not going to even sound like a big deal to others, but it was to me. Last summer when my AC went out in the bus, because I had already spent thousands of dollars on my AC, and it also happened in the worst, hottest city possible. And Izzy kind of had a medical scare because of the heat, and it happened really quick. And it was one of those things where just like, it was there's never good timing for that kind of thing, but it's like worst timing, this and that. So my friends Stuart and Rebecca, I went back up and spent time with them, and they like were letting me spend time in their RV and everything, so they had air conditioning and like helped me with the dogs, and then hooked me up with a really good guy who fixed my air conditioning and stuff. So I would say definitely the lows are like breakdowns and when things like that happen. Luckily I haven't had any crazy breakdowns. I had one major breakdown my first year in the bus, and I had to stay in a motel for like a week, and that really sucked. But now that that is fixed on my bus, it has helped, like it's prevented so many issues in the future. So I'm grateful that that all happened and that work was done to the bus. But yeah, I would say probably my low is when I did not have air conditioning when it was super hot, because it was really stressful, and that was probably my low. So definitely could have a worse low, but that was pretty bad, especially because Izzy is very heat sensitive. And then I would say my highs, I could not think of one example for my high, but I would say my highs in the bus are when I'm in spots that I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like what I dreamt of, like I daydreamed of, like when I was building out the bus and this and that, like these are the types of spots. So like there's been a spot, and they're usually like when I'm on the water, like right now my spot is pretty legit. But there was one spot that was like on the ocean, and the ocean was like at my back door, and it was a free spot, and I had my windows open. I was just laying in like my bed. I'm like, I daydreamed about places like this. Like this is why I got the bus, is to be able to go to places like this and like have my whole home. So I think my highs are being at spots or experiencing things that I felt like I like daydreamed about, or when I was building out the bus, like the places I envisioned that like kept me going. Cause like my bus build was not easy for me. I knew nothing prior, and so like the places in my mind that like kept me going, got me through the bus build, got me through like the hard times. When I experienced those things, like those are my highs for sure. I feel like I've also had like really awesome experiences being with people, and like good memories like spent with other people. But I think what stands out to me the most is like certain places, whether I'm with people or not, but it's like locations, I guess. Um, yeah, definitely. And also, I think like the highs are like when I'm at a spot that I love, and like kind of, I mean, this spot is similar to what I'm going to explain, but like I had my whole home. It's beautiful out. There's not a lot of people around. I can literally walk out. The water's right there. Bodie goes swimming all day. He's in and out whenever he wants. I can take my kayak or my paddleboard out. Like those are my favorite spots for sure. Holy smokes, I'm at like 50 minutes now. Um, so I'm gonna get off here soon. But is there any last questions anyone has, or anything you want me to talk about or chat about? Thank you guys for all coming on. This is my first live chat, and I'm so happy you all made it here. It's been really fun. I'm gonna start going live a lot more. So maybe if you have ideas on like a good day or time that works. I have friends that go live often, so I don't want to interfere with those times, but I'm thinking like Monday or Tuesday, and it would be like probably 7 or 8 Eastern time. So kind of after dinner, but like not too late, because I think 9 o'clock's a little bit late. Like I'm usually in bed by 9 o'clock. So big EDM festival in Grand Rapids. Oh, what one is that? I haven't been to that one. Um, yeah, Charles, let me know the name of that. I love EDM festivals. Also, I'm laughing because my sister said, is it hard being away from my fur nephews? Yes, it is. It is so hard being away from your fur kids. Every time I see a dog that reminds me of yours, I'm like, oh my god. And then like I talk about them to that person, like, and I know they don't care, but I'm like, my sister has a border collie, like Aussie mix, and her Aussie puppy, like, and I know these people are like, this girl's crazy. She said Banks, who is her Aussie's not crazy anymore. He was pretty crazy when I met him. He loved Bodie, and Bodie did not love him. I made a video about this a long time ago, but I was gonna get the sibling to my sister's puppy Banks. I'm glad I did not do that, because 3 dogs would be a lot, especially a puppy. Oh, he's turning 1 next week. Oh, that's Oh, I wish I could be there to party for Bink's birthday. Um, but yeah, I almost got a third dog. I'm not gonna say I'll never get one in the future, but I really thought Bodhi like wanted a brother puppy to play with, and I realized like he enjoys playing with other dogs, but not all the time. Jordan DeBeer, holy smokes, it's been a long time. Wow, hello, thank you for tuning in. That is awesome. Wow. Um, but yes, Jesse, I missed your dogs and I missed you. Um, Bodhi has made some good dog friends here on the road though. And so he has a whole other road dog family that keeps him busy. Um, and it's funny because I was talking to my friend Alexandria about this the other day, but like when it's just me and the dogs, Bodhi's a completely different dog than when he is around other people. And don't get me wrong, he's still like a very calm, like I am very lucky with that dog, but like when I'm with a group of people, he kind of needs um constant attention, and it's always by males. Like we joke that I haven't told you all this, and I'm going to talk about it in future videos from now on because I've talked about it here, but Bodhi has daddy issues and he wants a dad. And so whenever we're around a big, like a group of people, he gravitates towards the males so much. And it's funny too, like lay on them and like dote on them. We're like, he's got daddy issues. And every male like I've been around is usually in a relationship with someone else there. So like they can't be his daddy. So we call him his uncle. But one night we were at a bonfire with like a big group of people, and I think every male there pretty much was in a relationship with someone else. There's only like 2 single guys maybe, but Bodhi went around and did his rounds to every male. Like it was so funny. Like went up to the first guy and was just like sitting next to him, like laying his head on him and like falling over and like wanting his belly rubbed. And then once that guy would give him attention, you know, do his thing, rub him, pet him, Bodhi move on to the next guy, and he was skipping over the females and he was only going to the males. And like it was so funny. I'm like, that justified that. Like the boy's got daddy issues and he wants a daddy. He's probably not getting one anytime soon, but he loves males. And he loves my dad, and like, yeah. So Jordan, I was scrolling through my feed and saw this. Awesome. Thanks, Jordan, for saying hi. Long time no see. I am very well. Hope you're doing well too. Thanks for saying, like, stopping and saying hi. That's really awesome. And I hope all is well for you. What else? Oh, Charles. Yeah, I don't know about that event. I have a cousin that lives in Grand Rapids though. But yeah, I don't know about that EDM concert. The last legit show I went to was like before Christmas, and it was like my favorite DJ. Like it could have been the best concert, and I got terrible seats, and it really ruined it. Hey Sandra, thank you for the happy birthday. But yeah, I have found that there are many DJs on the road that like play at these events that I go to, and those are almost better than like a legit concert, for one because they're free, but two, like it's so much smaller and like so much more intimate, and you like get to meet the DJ. So yeah, I definitely don't feel like I am missing out by not going to EDM shows, because I'm getting them in the middle of nowhere, and I get to like take a 1-minute walk and I'm to my home. But all right guys, it's already been like 55 minutes, so just a couple more minutes. Let me know if you have any other questions and whatnot. But no, Charles, I have not been to Electric Forest. The few, like the times where I've actually lived in Michigan and it was happening, the tickets are always like sold out, or I didn't really know a whole lot of people going. Last summer was the first summer I felt like I really could have tried to go because I knew some people going and whatnot, but the tickets were like over $1,000, and that's crazy to me. I would like to go, but that's just insane to me, especially when like I get to go to like EDM raves like out in the middle of nowhere, like around a like small group of people. Like it's hard for me to justify spending that amount of money now, but it would be a cool experience. Oh, Melissa, thank you. No worries. I know this was kind of like more of a last minute sort of live, and it's late for some people, so I appreciate you stopping in. The next live I do, it won't be this week, but it's probably gonna be a week after. It'll be like Monday or Tuesday, and it will be probably like 7 or 8 Eastern time. Um, yeah, it's actually about to be 7 o'clock my time, and I haven't eaten dinner, so that's what I'm gonna do next. Yeah, Charles. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I think, it's good to like support those artists or whatever, but it's just hard for me to justify the money. And then like the means of like driving there and then like having a safe driver back or like staying sober, whatever. Like when I'm at events and there's music, like I love live music no matter what. So like when there's live music there, like I can just walk home to my bus. So, um, and I've had a lot of fun with them. So. Melissa, no, I'm not in Arizona anymore. I'm actually in California. Kind of near the Sierra Nevadas, but not really. Everyone kept talking about the Sierra Nevadas. I'm like, where is that? I'm not in the Sierra Nevadas, but I am kind of out in the middle of nowhere in like middle California. Um, so it's really beautiful here. When I think of California, because I used to live in San Diego, I think of like beaches and Cali life, but I'm definitely like surrounded by land and farmland. And so last night I actually ended up at a spot. It was like the worst case scenario, but it was beautiful, and I'm gonna talk about it in my next video that I upload. Um, but like the sun was going down, and I don't like driving. My rule is like I don't drive when it gets dark out. I don't get to spots when it's dark out. But the sun was going down, so I was rushing. It took me way out in this valley, and I ended up losing. I lost service, and right before I lost service, um, I looked at my weather, and the weather was like a crazy jump in temps in the next 4 days, like 100 degrees, and I'm like, I cannot do that. That is way too hot. And I was so confused by that because I hadn't noticed the weather doing that when I've been looking, so I was like very shocked. And then um I lost service, and then when I got to my spot, it was a recreation site and you had to drive like 4 miles down this road. Well, the gate was locked and they had it closed for like another week, and so I just slept at the opening, and like it was so beautiful though. Like I had a beautiful sunset, and like I mean I was like surrounded by cows. And then that night though, because then I'm also like trying to look at my maps, like where do I go next, because I can't do the seat. Like I was actually a little stressed, very stressed, and I didn't have service, and I don't like not having service. And it just, yeah, it was beautiful, but like it just was not a good feeling. And then once the sun went down, I started hearing the coyotes, which I've whatever. But about like 10 o'clock at night, there was coyotes around the bus crying, and like it was just not a good feeling. So needless to say, first thing in the morning I got out of there, I went to town and got service, and then I found this place, and this is beautiful. I'm right on the water. um it's very, very nice, very beautiful, and there's not a lot of people here. Take a side trip to Ernest and Julio. I don't know where that is. I'll have to look into that. I don't plan on spending a whole lot more time here in California because it's really expensive. So I'm going to meet up with friends soon and hang out in Yosemite and whatever. And then I'm going to be making my way back to like Wyoming, Idaho area um, in like a month or so. So the weather will be like warming up there. But anyway, okay, you guys, it's been an hour. I appreciate you tuning in and hanging out with me. I really only planned on being on here for like a half hour, but I had so much fun with you guys. So I really, really appreciate it. And thank you for all the birthdays. Tomorrow is my official birthday, so I will be celebrating fully and then just kind of tuning out and chilling out. And I don't know, we'll see where the day takes me. But I just want to say thank you guys, and I appreciate it. I had so much fun with you, and I will start going live more often. It'll be earlier in the week though. Okay? All right, goodbye.